What's up, everyone? We have an update for the upcoming Predator and Alien comics, which are being worked on by Marvel. If you don't know by now, Disney, which owns Marvel, had purchased the rights to the Predator and Alien franchises back in 2020. There are some fans within the community that are worried about the franchise falling into the hands of Disney. Will they do things right, or will it be a huge disappointment? We'll find out. Now, there's a recent update regarding the comic books on both sides. These are going to be the first issues from Marvel regarding the Alien and Predator. So I'm curious to see how they treat the franchise. For a very long time, Dark Horse Comics was the main place to go if you wanted Predator, Alien, or Aliens vs. Predator comic books. The Predator comics are scheduled to be solicited around June of this year, according to the website AIPT Comics. I'm going to be optimistic and hopeful that these stories will please the fans. As I've gone through a lot of comic books published by Dark Horse Comics in the past, I can say that not every story is great. There are some stories that are downright silly and ridiculous, but let's see what Marvel does with the franchise. They do have a little information about the story for the first Predator comic book series. It says this: in the near future, a young girl sees her family slaughtered by the deadliest and most feared hunter in the universe, a predator. Years later, though her ship is barely holding together and food is running short, Theta won't stop stalking the spaceways until the Yautja monster who killed her family is dead, or she is. Ed Brisson and Kev Walker, who are working on this project, are forging a violent, heartbreaking, unforgettable new chapter in the Predator saga not to be missed. Over on Twitter, Ed Brisson seems to be really excited to be on board for this project. He posted these comments: "Can finally talk about this. I'm writing Predator for Marvel. First issue out in June. I've been a fan of Predator since first seeing it at the drive-in as a kid. I wore out my VHS copy and have watched it more than just about any other movie. When I was offered the gig, I had a laundry list of ideas ready to go. The world we're building here is one I'm incredibly proud of, and I cannot wait to get this book into people's hands." They did manage to give us a preview for a few variant covers, and they look pretty good. But I think the first one on the left is the best one. That's just my opinion. I like the shiny red lighting, the pile of skulls in the back, and the up-close look of the Predator's face. That one looks awesome. Ever since it was announced that Marvel would be making comics about the Predator and Alien, some fans have been wondering if they are ever going to do crossovers. Maybe at some point they might do that. Predator versus Thor? Well, it might happen. Okay, so let's move on to some news regarding the upcoming Alien comic book. This article is featured over on Screen Rant, and this one is getting a lot of attention amongst the Alien fans in the community, mainly because they're introducing a new xenomorph evolution called the Alpha. There were some early interviews with the author, Philip Kennedy Johnson, and he teased with a fresh evolution to the Alien. This is the cover art that's been floating around for possibly the first issue. One thing that caught my attention here is how the inner jaw is now appearing to be more soft or flexible. It's no longer stiff like the old version we've seen before. The only time I really see this occur is when an alien dies, so it's possible this could be a natural thing, but we just don't see it often, because in most cases, the inner jaw is stiff during an attack or when provoked. The story follows a character named Gabriel Cruz, who worked for, you guessed it, Weyland-Yutani. After nearly dying at the hands of the xenomorphs, he will team up with a Bishop model android. His mission is to find his son. Along his journey, he will encounter the deadly creatures, including the brand new evolution called the Alpha. Johnson said this over on Screen Rant: "The series will introduce never-before-seen creatures to the series. If facing xenomorphs wasn't hard enough, the fact that they're evolving into even more terrifying creatures is bad news for Cruz and his team." He expressed that he was excited to introduce the Alpha, who will play a key part in the evolution of xenomorphs. Johnson further teased more variations on xenomorphs that were described as upsetting. During the interview, Johnson even mentioned that he wants to find new ways to shock and disturb the reader, so there's a good chance the story will not be watered down. Hopefully, it's going to bring new horror elements that fans crave. Over on the website Games Radar, Johnson showed how much of a fan he is of the Alien franchise. He said this: "As a lifelong superfan of the franchise, getting to write the launch of Marvel's Alien was one of the biggest thrills of my writing career, so the franchise could be in good hands." There's another interview on sci-fi.com, and it mentions a little bit about the androids in the story. It says this: "We'll see a hypersleep chamber with something pretty upsetting written on it, and slowly come to understand what it means. We'll continue to see the development of the androids, the significant value they offer as allies, and the massive threat they pose as enemies. And most notably, we'll further explore the xenomorphs' limitless ability to adapt and survive, which to them means impregnating and eviscerating everything that isn't them, and that's going to manifest in some pretty messed up ways." The last thing we can look at is this new female alien in one picture. This most likely could be the Alpha mentioned in the story. But will this new Alpha replace the classic Queen Alien? And at the moment, we don't know her origins, but judging by the design, it looks more like a hybrid of alien and human in some way. It kind of reminds me of Elizabeth Shaw's death scene in Alien Covenant, but it seems to share design aspects of a drawing done by H.R. Giger in 1974. This drawing has features from his partner that passed away in 1975. Her name was Lee Tobler. After the death of his girlfriend, some people said that H.R. Giger's art became more darker and twisted. Perhaps he was affected by her passing so much that it influenced his work later on. You might also notice a hammerpede in the corner, which is taken from the movie Prometheus, so I'm curious to see if they borrow ideas from other films or stories. If you want to place an order for the first issue of the Alien comic book from Marvel, it should be available around March 24th of 2021. And that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. This is Carlos or Acid Glow, and I'll see you next time.